Hey guys. So first and foremost, I think I'm either coming down with something, or my voice is just like F this I'm out. Either way, I'm gonna be a little deeper, a little more sultry than usual, so I apologize in advance. I'm gonna just jump right into it because I think I'm rushing against time right now. I don't know, but this is going to be a quickie, a real quick quickie. Today I'm coming to you guys talking about 5 tips to push through the struggle. Whatever the proverbial struggle is, I'm going to give you the tips that I use to push through. If you know me personally, you know my life always has these peaks and valleys. And boy, do the valleys get low. And it's just like a lot of people ask me, how do you keep going? What are you doing? If I've dealt with just an nth of what you have thus far, I wouldn't have made it. And I'm like, well, I can't think like that. I got to keep going because I wake up every day. And so I guess in a recent struggle has presented itself. And so it's just like, all right, I didn't bat an eye or think twice about it. I was just like, it's time to go. So it made this video come about what is that in me that kind of makes me just go, all right, let's go. Put on the big boots because there's a lot of shit to trudge through. Let's go. I guess the first thing is I feel, not the first tip, but I guess I just feel like I'm destined for more. And that's why I go through so much shit, whether it's write my story out so someone else can read it, or be a testimony, or even if it's just to, because of all the shit that I've been through, recognize it in somebody else's life and kind of like stop the shit from hemorrhaging. Whatever it is, I know I'm supposed to do something with the knowledge of pain that life has given me. Also, I think the trauma coupled with my gift of writing go hand in hand for some reason. I mean, every artist that I've ever admired had a very traumatic experience or upbringing or life at some point that really fueled their creativity. I'm not saying that happy people can't be as creative. I'm just saying that maybe my creativity doesn't come from it. I know that those two things together, the trauma that I've gone through and my ability to express, or my gift of expression, is going to lead to triumph somewhere, even if it's not mine. And although that's a very heavy word, trauma is a heavy thing to deal with. So yeah, I know it's something that's going to come out of it. So yeah, I guess the 5 tips for you guys that I use to push through, triumph. Don't look at me like I'm crazy, but I'm going to tell you what I do. The first thing I do is I remind myself that trouble doesn't last always. I think the first time I heard that was like an old black church lady told me that, of course, because that's like an old thing you hear from those very spiritual, very churchy people, right? But trouble can't last always. That's just not how life has shown me it works. It's not always dark. It's not always light. You need the balance of the two. And so I realize if I'm going through something, it's just my time to go through whatever it is that I'm going through. That my brain wants to sit there and worry about it sometimes, just obsess about what I'm going through. And as I actively tell my brain, you can't do that. And so I don't. I just know that it has a purpose. And once I figure this purpose out, or the purpose reveals itself, all will be well, all will be fine. And maybe the purpose isn't even for me. Maybe I gotta hurt so somebody else doesn't. And in this communal life that we live, that's okay too. The second thing I do is I write what I want the ideal outcome to be. And this may not work for everybody, but I've my dad always taught me, if you don't write it down, then it's not real. And so I want to make positive outcomes be real. And so I just make sure that I sit down and go, okay, this is what's going on. This is what I want to happen as a result of it. And no, it doesn't always turn out that way. It's not like a magical cloth that I write down all the shit that I want on, right? But it is, I guess, a map to just keep looking at and being like, okay, this is what I'm working towards. This is what I'm going through all this for. This is what I want out of this situation. And I don't think we give ourselves the power to realize that even in trauma and traumatic things that are happening to you, you can want something out of that situation. Oh no, maybe I'm just looking at it wrong. Ouch. The third thing that I do is I take stock in the progress that I've made. And I know I say this a lot, but I think it's really important. I think it's a thing that we in society don't do as much of today as we could. We've come so far in the things that we've accomplished, and shit, just on an individual personal level, you've come so far to reach that obstacle. Acknowledge that, respect that, use that as your fuel to get over that obstacle. Shit, that's it and that's all. And I mean, I talk about it till I'm blue in the face about acknowledging where you actually stand in the valley of this life. Well, not the valley of this life, on the peak or the valley. I mean, we don't talk about that in between, the ascension, right? Acknowledge where you are in this ascension to your peak. Yeah, that's how I'll say it. The fourth thing I do is I just keep working. I can't, wallowing never helps, especially doesn't help me. When I wallow, I just make shit worse. And the shit that I've had to deal with piles on, and it just gets gross. It's just a horrible outcome. Whereas if I just keep moving, maybe not in the direction that I'm moving, but moving towards my goal, then I'll actually achieve something, or at least get out of some of the shit that I'm in. I don't wallow. And I have moments where I want to. I have moments where I'm like, this is the only thing that feels good. Yeah, take that moment and then move on. Me and my youngest brother always joke, you either got a minute, an hour, or a day to deal with something. And then we moving on. And the magnitude of it depends on the day. On the time, I'm sorry. I remember after I got into a big fight with my mom, like a physical altercation with her, and I looked at my youngest brother and I was just like, yo, I'm just really sad that me and my mom can't get along. And he was like, okay, this is a big one. You got a day to worry about it, but tomorrow we back at it. And that's just it. That's just how we move. Tomorrow, got to get back at it. The last thing I do is I do take the time to lick my wounds, right? And when I say that, I mean I acknowledge what hurt me or what made something traumatic or struggly to me. And I either change what needs to be changed, or I accept that which cannot be changed. And that's literally all we're left with at the end of it all. You cannot dictate life as much as we want to, as much as we think we can. What you can do, though, is realize how life makes you feel, what life does to you, and then you handle the you part of it. That's just it, and that's all. That's all I can really do. I can only control me. I can only control those things that I allow to control me, if that makes sense. So that's it. I just make sure that I am focused on why that hurt and fix it as best as I can. So yeah, that's it, guys. I don't have much for you today, and I don't know if it's my time crunch, this seeming cold, or just this mood of meh that I seem to have been in past 24 hours. I've been in a muck for the past 24 hours. It's not a bad muck. It's just more of a an observational phase right now. I kind of like it. It's not horrible. It's not bad. It's not good. It's just dormant, but not in a bad way. So anyway, as always, my family, I leave you with a lot of light, because we got to see our ways through the dark times. So hopefully this gave you a little beacon, a little glimmer, a little sight to the end of the tunnel. Sorry. I leave you with a lot of life, because again, it's just you and I, us and we, in this whole thing we call life. So let's share and fellowship and make it work. And we're supposed to be in the celebration season, so let's celebrate, right? But more importantly, and unequivocally, I give back the love that you guys give to me, and I feel it, and I thank you all. Some of you talk to me, some of you comment, some of you send me little DMs, and I appreciate all that. Because again, one day I just opened up a tablet and started yicking at the mouth. So I really appreciate you all. So I give you the love that you give to me. I give it all times 10 back to you guys.